And so this is actually a really entertaining piece. It's just the Clark County Supervisors Board meeting having to do with election 2024, but highly entertaining because these people do not give a shit about what you think, about what you've been through, about the fraud that you've witnessed.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. The special meeting of Board of County Commissioners will come to order. The first item on our agenda is public comment. We ask that if you have public comment, please come forward at this time. State your name clearly for the record. And we ask that you use both sides of the dais here. Welcome.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Danny Keir. My last name is Kear. I reside at 4099 West Silverado Ranch. I'm here today because I'm asking you, I'm not really just begging you to not certify the election today. I took time out of my schedule to observe at Clark County Central Plant where the election ballots were tabulated. And I observed things there that I've reported to the Secretary of State. And at very minimum, I think that the county commissioners should consider that the law provides for us to, if there are perceived or possible inconsistencies with the way the election was tabulated, that we should due process and investigate that. That's my plea today. I think that's going to be a common theme that you hear today. But for me personally, it was the one that pushed me over the edge was when I inquired with Dan Couldnt, which is the only contact as an observer at Central Plant, why there were two NP people duplicating ballots at the same table. I was advised that NP is nonpartisan, therefore it's okay to let them tabulate or duplicate together, and that is not true.
Thank you.
Go ahead, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Waffle, W-A-U-F-L-E. I've been working with the voter database for probably 15 years or so. There was talk about some ballots being deleted, so I took a look. I took each download, the cumulative file, and aggregated it by the ballot received date. So all the ballots that were received on October 28th, 29th, etc., should be the same going forward as they do it, because it should be a fairly static number. This was received on this day, this was received on this day. My findings are, I can put a graph up here, is that every data file that was submitted, the ballots in each aggregated day decreased. And that total number at the end of the day came out to 24,390 were deleted out of the voter mail file. The file kept growing because it added a day, so it looked normal and everything was up. But if you look at the individual days, it decreases.
And if you could just leave the documents and we'll take a look at them.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here today.
A day or two is not enough time to actually take a look at this, but here's some information.
Thank you. I failed to announce at the beginning of the meeting, we did shorten the public comment period because there were so many. If I could ask legal counsel.
Violation of due process. Yes. So at the call of the chair can determine to reduce the public comment. And so 3 minutes is, kind of our standard, but I think based on the size of the room today and things like that, it is within the discretion of the board to reduce public comment so that we can get to the business of the county.
Okay, if you would like to come forward at this time to voice your concerns about anything on the agenda, we ask that you do so from the mic. We would like to maintain decorum, So please do not yell from the audience. If you would like to speak, I would ask that you come to the mic and voice your concerns. Please.
Okay, all right. I only have 1 minute, is that correct? Okay, I'll try to make it very quick since I only have 1 minute. I just wanted to bring two details that I found difficult in the election. Number one, as you know, 9,000 ballots were not cured. I have a database background. I was downloading the data, and I found it very difficult to cure the ballots because there were no precinct information available, no race available. There was all these ballots to go manually one by one and cross-reference it with your general data that's supplied by Clark County. It's very difficult. And if it's the intention of the state to try to get as many people involved in the election process, that kind of slows things down, or that kind of overcomes that goal. The other thing here that I want to point out, a lot of these races here on these ballots, which most people voted by mail, they don't have a none of the above. And so a lot of people, this ballot could come in, and for example, on race number 12, Assembly District 12, which has only 2 candidates, nobody can put none of the above, and somebody could fill out one of those blank bubbles. So, got it in. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Robert Rupert, R-U-P-P-E-R-T. I live at 4242 Satinwood Drive, 89147. Ladies and gentlemen, I have 8 pages of copies of the message that I was supposed to send out by text to ballots that were not cured, and that when I was in the process of doing this last Friday, November 8th, from approximately 11:30 in the morning till 3:30 in the afternoon, I had gotten through to roughly 94 of these people on the list that I have for you, of which 2 of them got cured, thankfully, but the remainder of them were failed texts. That approximately happened around 2:30 in the afternoon. I contacted my carrier to find out why these messages failed, and it turned out that my phone got blocked for fraudulent use. I have unlimited talk and text with Cricket. They have blocked my phone. I have not been able to send text messages to anybody since then, whether they're on this list or a friend. And I'd like you to have this to look over because it's kind of important. These people's ballots were never cured. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you could hand it right to your right.
Oh, thank you.
Hello and welcome.
I'd like to give this. Yep. All right. Susan Proffitt, P-R-O-F-F-I-T-T. The last time I came here was during the primary, and I told you about Dan Coulin and his bullying, and I filed 3 reports about this. And I had witnesses. I included all of their contact information. And these people were never contacted, yet I got a letter from the Secretary of State's office stating that these were fraudulent claims and that I was wasting their time. I was here asking for your protection, and I didn't get it. Dan Coulin actually, I believe, set me up. I know that one of his workers did, because there's another witness that told me that that's what he overheard. And my dog, she flipped her, I have a service dog for a reason, and she was trying to intimidate my dog to get the dog to respond so they could kick me out, and this was a horrible experience. And I'd like to know if I need to go to the FBI or the special units over at the police department to report this, because I don't know how to get you all to do anything about it. I report these things every election, and this time it was extremely severe, and I had to leave, and I could not go back and finish my civic duty.
Thank you.
I was told it was really bad, okay? I'll let the other gentleman tell you the details.
Thank you and welcome.
Hello, thank you. My name's Paul Page. I live at 11552 Observation Point Ave in Las Vegas, and I just wanted to say I was working as an observer at 965 Trade Drive, and I felt the atmosphere was unprofessional and it involved harassment, for example, as Ms. Prophet just mentioned, and I think you really need to evaluate whether you have the right people there in those positions. I had been a volunteer in Maricopa County in Arizona in 2020, and I never saw anything like that there. So while I appreciate how open your process is in the election center, the level of harassment is sort of like off the charts, and you really need to evaluate who you have there managing it and bring in people who have better public relations skills at least. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Sam Rabinowitz, R-A-B-I-N-O-W-I-T-Z. That probably took most of my time. I'm a concerned citizen, and I'm a retired physician and medical director. I do have some handouts for you, if I can just give them all to you, so you can each have one. I do have some graphs to show, so I did some statistical analysis, something I did as a medical director, and it's very clear that there's some issues. See that? This is a significant inflection point that indicates some unusual situation going on. I did both 21 and 12, and it showed the same trend. And this trend is very similar to what we see around the country. This is Wisconsin. And you can see the inflection point. This usually happens when there's no voter IDs or other situations going on. So my concern is that really that this needs to be looked at very carefully and see what has caused this, because this is not a normal graph.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
Andy Thompson, Thompson. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. On November 8th, the Secretary of State data showed a decrement of 26,902 mail-in ballots. This deletion of ballots should never happen. It is inexcusable, though it may be explainable, and that explanation will not necessarily reflect well upon our election ecosystem. On November 11th, the Silver State website showed that out of 41,489 mailed-in ballots counted, only 1,500 contained votes for president. That means 96% had no vote for president. This is statistically so aberrant it defies belief and demands a full audit. From October 28th to November 10th, 24,398 ballots, or 90 ballots, were deleted from multiple batches. This is akin to a batch of ballots being received, counted, and then stored in a box to keep them safe. But then after a few days, someone goes back to that box, breaks the security seal, and removes a few ballots. Then each day, someone goes back to that box and takes even more ballots from it. Eventually, that box started with 82,000, ends up with 79,000. This appears to have happened to multiple batches of mailed-in ballots to the effect of 24,390 being deleted. We have, from the county and state, data that we are unable to reconcile with full trust and confidence. This altogether means that certification cannot proceed until a proper remedy is achieved in these matters.
Thank you. If you want to leave all your documents to the right, please. Thank you. Welcome.
My name is Christiane Mersch, M-E-R-S-C-H. One of the concerns that we have also is the Republican Senate candidate Sam Brown was ahead of the Democrat Jackie Rose until votes mysteriously started disappearing. The chart derived from the official site from the Secretary of State's number shows the impossible that the total numbers of votes between November 7 and November 8 actually went down in Clark County and Washoe counties, the two largest in Nevada, by a total of 26,902. There's no way this is possible, and it is, of course, reflective of the destruction of ballots identified as the previous speakers said here. Very convincingly, this number tracks well with the amount of votes that Sam Brown was defeated by. Sunday, November 10, Sam Brown is behind his opponent by only 21,333 votes, less than the numbers of votes deleted from official Nevada elections totals. Clearly, this shows a decrease in the totals in Clark County. This was more than enough. President Trump declared all those of who engage in 2024 election fraud will be prosecuted. I hope you guys remember that.
Thank you for your participation. If you hear something that makes you feel like you want to clap or scream out loud, we just ask that you kind of keep it to a minimum. You mess up the record, so let's please be respectful. Thank you.
My name is Crystal Thompson, Thompson, and I have a question on how we can certify an election that no numbers agree between the Secretary of State's office and Clark County's official records. And especially since the Secretary of State's office let us know when we said ballots are missing that they get their numbers from you. Well, even in your final documents, you guys are off in every category. Early votes, 6815, you show more than Secretary of State's office. Election day votes, you guys added 11,847 from their official record. Mail ballots, you guys have 18,369,000 less. And in total votes, you show 4,074,000 less. How can you guys consolidate those numbers when Secretary of State's office gets their numbers from you? How can you say that you're going to certify this election when you guys can't even agree on the numbers? How do you add election day votes to official numbers? These are questions that should be answered before this should be certified. And these are your guys' official reports.
Please. Thank you. Welcome. And please feel free to take both sides. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Terry Wolf, and in 2020, I went as a participant to vote, and my vote was stolen from me right at the machine. We tried to do something about it. We voted on the machine. My name or my vote was changed to Biden from Trump. We observed it. I was with another attorney. We tried to notify you guys at the time. Fell on deaf ears. This time I decided I was going to participate and make sure we did not have this type of activity going on again. So I became a poll watcher, and I did it 4 different times at 3 different locations, and I observed fraud every time. Starting with the first one, it was at a location where they would not allow me to check the machines, that they were zeroed out before the day started. The second, is there a reason for that beep?
They want you to shut up.
No, that's the conclusion of the 1 minute, but you can just take a few seconds to wrap up your thoughts.
Okay, all right. At the end of the day, I observed the person that was in charge of that location put the ballot box in her car without a second party to observe. It was supposed to go into a truck with all the other equipment. They would not let me video it. I did take pictures. I did turn them in. The second time, they would not allow me to check the machines to be zeroed out. And that time, they allowed me to observe, but I was unable to observe the entire room because I had us sitting in a small box.
Thank you.
Can I finish up?
No, that's a lot of time. Thank you. Next, please.
That's great.
My name is Mary Rooney, and I'm a resident of Henderson. My presence here today is quite hypocritical based on what I have to say. We are here to certify the results of the 2024 general election. Now, certify, the definition, which is to attest to the validity of. We all know, even though we won't say it out loud, that that is not what's happening here. This whole event is a gigantic waste of time and money. The alleged purpose is to reassure the public that we have had a free and fair and accurate election. Unfortunately, this charade does just the opposite. Not just, it is fanning the flames of the problem. It is eroding our confidence in our election process. I'd like to remind you all that you did take an oath to serve we the people. Your purpose is not to assuage the feelings of the governor or the Republican Party. It is to assuage our feelings. Voters, we pay your salary, not the governor and not the Republican Party. I know you are going to say we're just doing our job. Not the best defense, not even a good one, but one we are hearing more and more and more to the detriment of our community, our state, and our nation.
Thank you so much.
My name is Socorro Keenan, last name is Keenan. I have some data for you. Can I give this?
Pass
and
it
don't put
right
this on my
to your
minutes,
right.
please. Everyone take notice. Right now, you're receiving a response from a federal district complaint that was filed a few weeks ago. Well, actually, and all the officials that we know of have been notified, and we need to. This whole election is not real. Part of there are 17 counties in Nevada. I ran for Secretary of State 2 years ago, and I know that they cheated. They didn't use everything I said: paper, one person, one day, ID, all the things that we're supposed to be doing. So here we are. The truth is here. The part of Nye County, Lincoln County, White Pine, Elko, Beatty, part of that, and Pahrump, all of Clark County are ineligible to vote. The question number 5, written by Harry Reid in the LCB, was submitted for the legislatures for passing, is void because those ineligible voters were not allowed to vote for question number 5 before the constitutional boundaries were extended. This is as of 1866. It was a spoiled ballot, and the CC commissioners are all been illegal aboard in Clark County for years. Federal court case against Secretary of State and Governor Lombardo is 2.24-CV-02646-APG-MDC against Secretary of State and Governor Lombardo.
Excuse me.
Who is now.
If you'd like to forward that over to us so we can follow along at a later time, please feel free to.
This is serious. This is
email
all.
that over.
This is all fake. You have to take notice now. You can't keep pulling. Can't dance around this anymore. It's
Thank you.
time
Next,
to face
please.
up to it.
Thank you so much for coming out. Please limit the extra chatter. We want to make sure the record is clear. Thank you. And please take the next mic. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Grace Trujillo. They said, like, when the wicked rules, people groan. And integrity, as people said, is in actions. So if you certify the elections today, you guys don't have any integrity. Naff, Miller, McCurdy. Because we are already telling you guys what's going on. And you guys are not doing it. I complained about my whole family. We did not get any ballots on mail. I didn't get any response until later. So you have that on your email. Even the primary, I never got an information even for the signature. So that's why we went to the early voting. So we just want answer. And before we get any answer, don't certify. Give us the data. We have the data. We showed it to you. You guys are educated. You can understand that. So put that. Answer us. We're humans here. We're taxpayers. All we want is an answer before you certify. An accurate data.
Thank you. Welcome.
Michael Cockrell, I'm a resident of Henderson. Last name is Cockrell. I'm not up here with a bunch of data and stuff, but I'm just simply observing what's happening here. I've taught 41 years. I dealt with lots of data. Several ways I could deal with it. When I test, the grades would sometimes come out different. than what they should be. I'd notice questions that were missing quite often. I'd have to go back and check that data. Either that, or I disenfranchise my students of what they've earned. Then I would also give them the test back so they could double check it and make sure I've done my job. Do I like having to be told I was wrong? No, I did not like that. At the very least, what I'm seeing here is at the very least laziness on parts of the election system. I'm seeing over and over again there are issues with data. At the very most, there is deception, which I could have done. I could have just kept the test, kept the grades, disenfranchised my students from what they earned. Right now, it looks like you're disenfranchising some of the electors.
Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Mr. Vice Chair and members of the Commission, good afternoon. My name is Jose Luis Valdez, and I am the City Clerk of Henderson, Nevada. And I am here to thank you for the opportunity to address you, but also to praise my professional and distinguished friend and colleague, Lorena Portillo, the Registrar of Voters, and Dan Coolin. They have run a safe, fair, accurate, and efficient election. The law requires that on the 10th day, you certify the election by canvassing the vote, and that's what you're doing here. You all took an oath to do that. The City of Henderson will do that later today. But this election, I can tell you, I was at the polls every day, and we have received nothing but the greatest cooperation and the greatest efficiency of assistance from the Registrar of Voters, and we thank you for providing the staff and the leadership necessary to do that. I thank you for that, and I congratulate the Registrar and the Commission for a job exceptionally well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, excuse me. If you would like to speak, we ask that you come to a mic. Limit the chatter because it messes up the record. Let's maintain decorum in the building. If you've already spoken, we'll ask that you take a step back because you've already had your opportunity, and we'll let the gentleman come and fill that spot.
I just had one follow-up, and I just...
That you've already had your time, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Pam Bennett, Bennetts, and I have a handout for all of you. Do I?
Please.
So the first issue is you handed out more mail ballots than there were registered. It's from your own report. There were 18,507 actual extra mail ballots. I opted out, many people opted out, so that's not possible. You had 1.3 million ballots that were never returned. That seems like a freaking lot of waste of money. Your EASE system, which you call effective absentee system, is ineffective, and it should be called absentee because that's where the mail ballots came from that I found, because I have been doing this since October 16th, and I have calculated a spreadsheet, and I have downloaded all your reports. You do from accumulations. That's easy to hide, and there's just no transparency, and that's where the negative ballots came from. I filed a report, and it did get registered last night. So I have my own case number. There's no way you can certify this because that hasn't been handled. I did hear that the Globe had inside information that the GOP said it was a cut and paste error. I call it a cotton paste error.
Thank you for being here today. If you'd like to come up and take this mic, welcome.
This mic? Yeah, Marty Waldman, W-A-L-D-M-A-N. I'll probably take 30 seconds. The people who have gone before me and the ones that will come after me, I would guess that they're largely Trump supporters, and yet they're not afraid to come here and state that this has been a fraudulent election. So anyway, that's it.
Thank you. Please.
Hi, my name is Leslie Quinn. I'm a registered voter here in Clark County, and I'm here to ask all the commissioners humbly to not certify the election today. There are over 26,000 reasons why the votes that were lost on election ballot logs. I voted on the 5th day of early election, and my vote still doesn't show on the state of Nevada. My husband voted on election day, and still his vote doesn't show. My daughter also voted. She doesn't even show that she's been registered. There was also an event where almost 100 United States Postal Service trucks were videoed at an Albertsons on Flamingo and Durango, swapping out who knows what. on Election Day. So I ask to gain the population's respect for the voting to please honor U.S. citizens and their vote, and please do not certify. My recommendation is that we do have another vote in Clark County, same day, in person, at the precinct level with voter ID to earn that vote trust back in all of you. Thank you.
Excuse me, will you state and spell your name before you go back? Just make sure everyone got it. Just state and spell your last name so we can get it on the record.
What?
State your name for the record.
Oh, Leslie Quinn.
Okay, thank you. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Kendall Malcolm. I live at Malcolm, M-A-L-C-O-M-B. I live at 4099 West Silverado Ranch Boulevard. Obviously, you have a lot of concerned citizens here today. I am a young voter, obviously a young American who's very concerned about the way the country is going right now. I look at this board and I see the stuff you guys do in real life, and you look at this board and you don't care what any of us are saying here today. I can see it in all of your faces. You're not going to do anything about any of this because you don't care. You listen to people who give you the money and the paychecks. You don't care about what anything we say. So, saying that, don't certify this election if you want to make history. If you want to make history today and actually do your jobs, I mean, it's crazy to say. But if you continue to certify this election and don't look into what all these people have things to say to you and you don't care, then you will be on the wrong side of history. And I want you all to know that today. Thank you.
Thank you for being here today. Welcome.
My name is Tyler Warner. I reside at 4765 North TP Lane. I was going to start and say just don't certify the election because of all the fraudulent pieces that we have here, but there's a more pressing issue that I will use my time on, and it's the time amount. You guys said that there's a lot of people here. It's harder to do that. It doesn't matter. Your job is to listen to us one by one. As American citizens, don't we have the right to voice our opinion? Do we not have the right to say anything that we wish to and hold you all responsible for your elected officials? As much as it pains me to keep sitting here and just watching people's voice get taken away, and you guys basically don't care, here we are. And I feel like nothing I'm doing is going forward anymore. And if you guys want to keep stepping back and doing this to American citizens, be my guest. However, I'm at least going to try to fight and do what's right for my country, unlike y'all.
Thank you. Welcome.
My name is Boyes, B-O-I-E-S, Perkins, P-E-R-K-I-N-S. I'm a registered Republican. I'm a natural-born citizen. I live in Henderson, Nevada. And I have concerns about the election in Clark County. I follow a number of conservative websites, and there is one website that has put up the data that on November 7th, Sam Brown, that was the Thursday after the 5th of November Election Day, mail-in ballots only. Sam Brown had 435,984 votes. That was mail-in ballots on Thursday, November 7th. On Friday, November 8th, his vote total was reduced by 28,320 votes. It was a minus. And he had 407,664 votes. Where did the other 28,320 votes go? Washoe County, same scenario. November 7th, the Thursday after the election, they deducted 549 votes for Sam Brown. Okay, if there was some sort of glitch...
If you want to submit your document over to the clerk to the right of you, please do so, but we can't go through the entire rest of the items. But I'm going to ask you to speak next and just hand it over so we can take a look at what you have. And hopefully you stick around so that you can see that some of your questions may be answered.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nancy Recker, Roeckeer. I am the candidate for Assembly District 12. I ran a fair race. I was intimidated at the polls by a poll worker named Chelsea at City Hall in Henderson on Election Day. She came up to me and said, "You must pick your signs up off the ground or leave." There is nothing in the statutes that says that we have to do that. So my friend, another candidate, Annette Dawson Owens, called the mayor of Henderson and said, "We are being bullied to leave City Hall. Can you help us?" Chelsea came back later and said that you have done it. Now the election commission is involved and you need to get off the property. I again asked her, why do I need to do this? And she had no answer. So that's my first contention. My second one is, I can show you on my phone my ballot, which was put in the ballot box on the first day of early voting, still has not been counted. How is that possible? And finally, I have a question for you. Where is my county commissioner, Tick Segerblom, at this very important moment? You must look at this. People are giving up their lives to represent their constituents, and this is unfair and unjust. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
1 second. I'm
my
sorry. You've already spoken, and we're not passing time. You've had your time to speak. Sir.
All I'm asking is for 3 seconds.
Sir, we're done. Unless there is someone else that would like to come forward at this time. Thank you so much.
Corruption is unbelievable, and this certification cannot happen.
Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Mr.
No. Excuse me. He is not speaking. I passed the mic over to the gentleman to your right, and we will not have another comment from you, sir.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, my name is Ed Euling. The most important aspect of a democratic society is confidence in the vote. And obviously, there is no confidence in this vote. One person has come up and said the vote was fair. There's a whole room full of people who are presenting evidence that that there are serious problems with the system. And people are handing in papers. Are you going to make sure that these papers get put into the minutes of this meeting? Because the last meeting you didn't put any of the papers into it. We want to see. You should want to see what people are saying. Obviously, you don't want to see it because you benefit from it, from not seeing it. But can we are you going to make sure that these papers get put into the minutes of this meeting? I was a candidate, well.
Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
My name is Mindy Robinson, Robinson. I live in Southern Highlands. I'm a registered libertarian. I hate both parties. I'm fully aware they are both severely corrupt in this state. That's why we ended up with the guy who covered up the Las Vegas shooting as governor, despite letting evidence walk off his crime scene. That's how we have a 4-time arrested attorney general that won re-election, despite starting a crime wave and everything else. And I must say, it is super cowardly that you guys, these people took time out of their day in the middle of a work day, and you cut their 3 minutes down to 1 because you really don't give a shit what they say. It's about as cowardly as the fact only half of you showed up today. Now, I don't even have enough time to talk about the ballots that were deleted, the fact that my mail-in ballot still wasn't counted, the fact my other half's ballot was counted for the primary while it's still sitting on our counter, or the fact that all the down ballot races changed overnight. Why it would take a week to count anything? While Florida finished in 45 minutes and while things are flipping. I don't have enough time to say that. So I'm just going to point out that the last time I was here, Tick Segerblom, who isn't here today, walked through an angry crowd that confronted him about why he was pushing drag queens on kids and then shook his head yes when someone asked him if he was a minor attracted person, which means pedophile. Maybe you should investigate that.
Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
My name is Janet Martin, Martin. I don't have all the stats and all the stuff that the other people are saying. I have one thing to say. How any of you up there that have been given authority to govern us and make rules can lay your head down at night and sleep peacefully, because there will be a judgment day. You might not be aware of that. You will answer for all of the evil, corrupt things that you guys have allowed and took part in. And I pray that you guys will think seriously about what you're doing, because you need eternal life. And the way you guys are acting, none will have it. And I praise God that He will judge you all. And it'll be too late to say you're sorry for all your corruptness.
Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Good afternoon, the commissioners. My name is Julie Herford. I came to this country 54 years ago. I register. I have never missed one vote. However, in the last 20 years, I moved here about 25 years ago. The election process become less and less transparent and trustworthy. Everybody already have a lot to say. Unfortunately, many very valuable information that you all can be benefited from are not allowed to be presented. So two questions. How are we going to reach out to you to present you our concern and evidence for you all to allow us the benefit of the doubt that you will consider this thing is very serious. We're not here to cause trouble. We just wanted to have a fair, trustworthy election process. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here. Is there anyone else? For all those who are left in the audience wishing to speak, we ask that you do come down at this time. If you do hear something that sounds like something you're going to say, we just ask that you say ditto. Welcome.
Good afternoon, commissioners, and thank you so much for being here. For the record, my name is Emily Prasad Zamora, and I'm the executive director of Silver State Voices. There's been a lot of talk about conspiracy theories. I'm here to, first and foremost, thank the Registrar of Voters and her entire team. I know this is the first election cycle that she specifically has been the registrar, and she's shown that she knows how to run a safe, effective, and efficient election. And so I'd like to congratulate her and her team. At Silver State Voices, we run the largest nonpartisan election protection program where we help voters of all political affiliations when they have issues. And we were able to contact the registrar's office and the Secretary of State's office on numerous occasions when we got calls from our hotline and were able to get assistance in a timely fashion. And so that is just proof in the pudding for us that they do reach out and help their constituents and their voters. So thank you very much.
And thank you. Welcome.
Well, hi. My name is Carrie Dermick, and I'm the state director of All Voting is Local. We are an organization that exists to expose and dismantle threats to voter freedom in order to make voting safe, fair, and accessible. We do this in order to build a democracy for all of us. I'm here to support the canvass of the 2024 general election. Hands down, the system worked in Clark County. Voters across this county made their voices heard in person and by voting by mail across this county. I would like to sincerely thank the Registrar of Voters and all election workers for their hard work in implementing these state and federal laws, ensuring all eligible voters could vote, and ensuring all votes were counted. Due to the dedication of the Registrar of Voters staff and election vote workers, democracy prevailed in the 2024 general election, where everyone's right to vote was protected. I urge you to certify this election. In closing, I again want to applaud all the election workers because running an election is not an easy task, and it was done safe, fair, and successfully. Thank you so much, commissioners, for your time today.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sandra Stratton. I'm from Henderson, Nevada. I was a poll watcher on November 5th, where I had 2 foreign nationals come in with their badges, which I called in and reported it to find out why they were even there as poll watching. And while they were there, we were only allowed to sit in this tiny little section. We were not allowed to do anything outside of that little section, so we could barely see anything that was going on. Boxes were removed by 2 people later on and put in their car, which that's wrong. It's supposed to be going into a truck and being followed, not put in somebody's personal car. That's fraud. All of it's fraud. So where does it go? We don't know where those boxes go. Not to mention the fact that I'm not even allowed to be there after 7 o'clock when they're still there closing everything up until 10 o'clock.
Thank you for being here.
Hi, how are you? My name is Anthony. The last name is Manessa, M-A-N-E-S-A. I'm 39 years in this town. I remember when most of the politicians were busboys in restaurants, but the land of opportunity. So I'm coming in here today. I speak 7 languages. Where I grew up in Africa, when people used to do the ballots with the fingers, there was no fraud. How do you let things happen? And I believe all these people here cannot be wrong. So something is going on, and your job is to fix the problem. Because trust me, the new president will send down the Department of Justice and the FBI to investigate because it's federal, and there's going to be a lot of trouble. So you better think about this before, because it's going to happen later or early. You have to think about these people who vote for you, these people who voted for you for your positions in here. I have never seen such a primitive system like a banana republic. This is terrible. This is horrible that these people don't have the right. Okay, you need to take care of this. That's why you were elected in here. So please take care of this. Make sure we know what's going on, even if you have to go against your enemies or your friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Hi, Commissioners. My name is Shelby Swartz. That's SHELBIE-SWARTZ. I'm the Executive Director of Battleborn Progress. I'm here today to thank our tireless election workers and county officials that ensured that this election was safe and secure. I'd also ask that all of our commissioners please certify the results of this election. And I appreciate you for all of your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Excuse me. Let's not yell or speak out. Everyone should be allotted the time to speak in peace. We're doing great. Welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Sedmira Ramic, spelled R-A-M-I-C, and I'm a voting rights attorney at the ACLU of Nevada. I would like to start off by saying that our affiliate, along with our partners, ran one of the largest election protection programs within the state. We had over 500 observers throughout the entire state, including all 17 counties, and that's including at polling locations as well as vote count centers. Part of those efforts involves us engaging with the county clerks and assuring that we're able to speak with them about the issues that are reported to us and working with them to make sure that those individuals are able to cast their ballot. We are extremely grateful to Ms. Portillo as well as her office for working with us when there were issues and doing it in a transparent as well as professional manner, no matter what time of the day that we called with a voter that's saying, hey, I'm having issues with X, Y, and Z. She was there or her staff was there to help us out, and that's irrespective of the party of that voter. We stand before you today just to emphasize the fact that while all these individuals are indicating that there's fraud, there's issues going on, the duty, and it is a duty of this commission, is to certify the election results. It is a duty, and it is not discretionary. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
Hello, thank you. My name is Paula Luna, Deputy Director of Battleborn Progress, and I just want to ask you all to certify the election and ditto everything that was said by our Executive Director. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Jenna Villa, V as in Victor, E-L-L-A. I just want to thank Clark County, the Registrar of Voters, and all the election workers for providing us a secure, accessible election. And I'm just begging you to do the right thing please certify the election. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Giselle Alvarez Barrera, ALVAREZ-BARRERA. I just want to thank the Clark County Registrar of Voters and all of the election workers and poll workers who took their time and dedicated themselves to this election. I do urge you to vote to certify the election results. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. For the record, my name is Matilda Miller, Government Relations Director at Native Voters Alliance Nevada. This body's responsibility is simple: to certify the will of Nevada voters. Registrar Portillo and her team delivered accuracy and integrity at every step of the way, with LVMPD on site ensuring safety and professionalism at the Elections Department. The results are clear. If we truly believe in liberty, justice, and the moral convictions that guide us, and those principles leave no room for hesitation. Honor the will of we the people and certify the results. Thank you to the Registrar.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
Tim Underwood, candidate for this election. I got another reason why you should not certify this election. Excuse me. On November 11th, 41,489 votes were added. Maybe the correction was on that day, but nobody knows. Trump got 582 votes and Harris got 972 votes. We can see a few not voting for the president, but the majority, it just doesn't add up. These issues alone should be looked into, yet there are more that we are aware of. And a second point, who made the decision to abridge our freedom of speech from 3 minutes to 1? Was that you? Or was it the board? I want to know who voted for that. That's an abridgment of our free speech. That goes to federal court. All right? We are citizens. You treat us as citizens. We are not subjects. Us and you are equals. You're going to learn that.
Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Chandler Cooks. Last name spelled Cooks. I want to express my deepest gratitude to the Clark County Register of Voters and our incredible team for the tireless work throughout this election cycle. Managing an election is no small task. It requires precision, dedication, and an unwavering commitment to democracy. Your efforts ensured that every eligible voter in Clark County had the opportunity to make their voice heard, and for that, we are truly grateful. I also want to thank our community partners, Silver State Voices and the ACLU, for their tireless work. I want to thank the voters of Clark County. Despite the challenges we face, be it misinformation, disillusionment, or the barriers that persist, you showed up. You made your voices count. And to all of those who don't agree with the certification, voting is just the beginning. The real work lies in continuing to engage, to educate, and to empower. Together, we can create a brighter future for every resident of Clark County. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Peyton, Lonardo Leonardo. I just want to say that I had a safe election experience. I saw my vote counted. I've volunteered my time with an organization where we've made ballot care calls, and we've spoken to over 811 people that had no problems with their ballots being counted and had checked that, and they felt like they had a safe voting experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Hi, everyone. I just have a quick question. Will all the concerns of everyone be answered today, or are we going to expect a email or anything back that we can get to know now?
We don't go back and forth during public comment, but if you'd like to hang tight to the conclusion of the meeting, you'll be able to speak to one of the staff members as to how some of the things that you may bring up can be answered.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hey, yo. I'm Jonathan Bush, spelled B-U-S-H. I volunteered my time to observe at 4 different locations: Meadows, Galleria, Desert Breeze Community Center, and and Allegiant Stadium. I observed no wrongdoing and want to thank all the election workers for ensuring that this was a safe and fair election. I urge you all to certify the election results. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon, Marcia Pitts. I've worked along with my team as overseers. We've knocked doors. We've been in the community throughout the entire process of this election, and I am here to say that my vote was counted. I went to Reno, and I was able to speak to a lot of people, over 26,000 people who had a good experience during this election. So certify, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello,
Welcome.
my name is Cynthia Rios, and I'm not affiliated with any organization. I'm just a taxpayer that is concerned about our election process. And how can you possibly certify something when there's so many questions unanswered? As our elected officials, I would like to know what is the process when there's so much uncertainty. That's just right there. Thank you. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
CYRUS, HOJJATY. I prefer an election system that has the ballots brought in within hours after election day. I don't like a process where the results can be literally flipped within days after Tuesday. I think we need to have a more efficient process. That's really what we had several election cycles ago. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Commission, good to see you. My name is Guillermo Barahona, Guillermo Barahona, resident of Clark County here, 89178. Just want to come here to thank all the election staff for the hard work. I was a poll observation observer during the whole period of the early voting and on election day at various sites across Clark County, both in the southwest and the east side. And so absolute professionalism and great insurance so that we could have a fair and excellent election. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to come forward at this time? Have you spoken yet?
No.
Welcome.
My name is Mark Messina, Messina, just a concerned citizen. Never been to something like this before, never thought I would speak here. At the beginning, I had some hope that maybe you guys were going to do the right thing, but after the concerned citizens finished speaking, and then the coordinated progressive clown army got up as if that was organic, all you guys do is cheat. Listen, I don't know what your handlers have told you, okay? Maybe they're going to 14th Amendment, they're going to stop Trump. It's not happening, okay? The days of being protected from prosecution are over, and I think every one of you knows that, okay? If you certify this fraudulent election, you are certifying your complicity in a very high crime. So I hope you guys will do the right thing, because no one escapes this, and nothing can stop what's coming.
Thank you so much for being here. All right, if there's no one else, we'll turn it over to our, oh, there's one more. And anyone else wishing to speak, please come forward at this time. Welcome.
Welcome, thank you. My name is David Flynn, I live up in Summerlin, and I just want to second what was just said. Transparency is coming, there's a new boss in town, and you guys are not going to want to be on the wrong side of history when this becomes, the truth comes out about what happened. It's been an embarrassment out here. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome.
Hello, my name is Tanya Vai, V as in Victor, AI, and I just wanted to say I've been here listening to both sides, and no one is discounting anybody's work ethic or anything like that, and no one's saying that votes haven't been counted. My vote was counted. My daughter's vote was counted. My husband's vote was counted. However, though my vote was counted, I know of people personally whose vote wasn't counted. And I don't know how we can certify an election knowing that there is so many inconsistencies. And data doesn't lie. It's the math.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak at this time during public comment? And we ask that you all come down at this time. Welcome.
Hi there. My name is Tammy Romo, R-O-M-O. There just came a letter from going to the Secretary of State from the Office of the County Manager stating that a certain amount of ballots were just found that were not counted. So again, there's so many mistakes that were made in this election. There's no way that you guys can honestly certify this election. And this came from a county manager that was involved with the election. So please do the right thing and do not certify this. You guys all have an oath that you have to abide by, and that's to protect us from foreign and domestic terrorists.
All right, if there is no one else wishing to come forward for public comment at this time, we'll close public comment and turn over to our county manager, Mrs. Schiller.
Chairman and Commissioners, the second item on your agenda is approval of the agenda.
We have a motion by Commissioner Neff. Please cast your vote.
Jones, aye.
And we have Commissioner Jones online.
Commissioner Sager-Bloom is also online.
And Commissioner Sager-Bloom?
Moving on to item 3 in your business, is to receive a report from the Registrar of Voters, canvass the returns of the 2024 general election held on November 5th, 2024, and direct the Registrar to submit a copy of abstract of the votes cast to the Nevada Secretary of State within 10 days after the election. Ms. Portillo will do a brief presentation. I do want to put on record before she gives the presentation, want to commend the staff, Ms. Portillo, all the volunteers, everybody in the community related to our vote centers, the Secretary of State, the State of Nevada, and all of our respective counties who work together in trying to make this the most successful election. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Portillo.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. We are here to canvass the 2024 general election. I have provided packets for you to review, including a copy of the official results. More than 1 million voters cast ballots in the election, which represents about 69% of registered voters. A further breakdown of turnout by voting method is 26% of registered voters voted at early voting sites, 13% on election day, and 30% by mail. We cannot be successful without the tremendous support of our commissioners, county management, fellow county departments, city clerk's offices, the Secretary of State's office, advocacy groups, and vendors. I would like to especially recognize the following partners: the Clark County School District, Galleria at Sunset and Meadows Mall, several shopping centers throughout the valley, Sun City Retirement Centers, several private, county, and city community centers, and our neighborhood libraries and supermarkets such as Albertsons, Seafood City, and Cardenas. Our county family, especially County Manager Kevin Schiller, Leslie Schell, Lisa Logsden, and Stephanie Wheatley, and everyone in the County Office of Public Safety, and all the county and city departments who provided volunteers to work early voting, election day, and throughout the election night support. The city clerks from Boulder City, Henderson, Las Vegas, Mesquite, and North Las Vegas are a part of our team and are extremely supportive. Henderson, Las Vegas, North Las Vegas city halls were all long-term early voting and election day sites. Louis Valdez and his team provided a full staff to manage their early voting and election day site, consisting of permanent staff members from the city of Henderson. And of course, Allegiant Stadium and the Raiders for hosting our first ever super site, which was a great success. A heartfelt thank you to all members of the election department, both temporary and permanent employees. They put in exceptional effort and are committed public servants. They ensured that the integrity of the election process was upheld, overcoming exhaustion and many challenges with professionalism and grace. Clark County is a strong team, and I am honored and grateful to be a part of it. And before I read the canvas of the results, I want to go ahead and comment on the updated official results this morning. On November 14th, 2024, during the reconciliation process in preparing the canvas, we discovered that there were 1,608 mail ballots that had not been tabulated. Upon this discovery, we were able to determine that these mail ballots were in duplication stage of the mail ballot process and had not been duplicated and tabulated. Therefore, we contacted our county management, DA, Secretary's office to properly duplicate and tabulate the mail ballots before the canvas today. Please note that the additional tabulated ballots did not impact the outcome of any race in Clark County. The county will be conducting a thorough review of the mail ballot duplication process to ensure that this error in processing does not occur in the future, in addition to our post-election audit. The county will continue to collaborate with the Secretary's office in this effort to ensure safe and secure elections. And with that said, I will continue to read the results of the canvass. The results of the November 5th, 2024 general election were canvass comparing the computer printouts of ballots counted and the results thereof with the official ballot statement for each of the 917 precincts utilized in this election. There were 195 discrepancies in the 1,033,285 ballots cast in the 917 precincts. 109 voters fled the voting machine prior to casting their ballot. 43 reactivation errors. 43 voted in the wrong precinct. However, there were no tabulation errors in the 917 precincts, and the foregoing irreconcilable differences would not alter the outcome of any contest in the general election. 19,724 provisional ballots were cast during the election, where 18,565 were verified and counted. 1,159 were not eligible to vote. Audits were performed according to NRS 293B on the hash code of our ICX voting machines and the VVPAT rolls for 2% of all machines used in the election. No discrepancies were identified. The Accuracy Certification Board also certified the functionality of our tabulation system to include our mail ballot readers, ICX voting machines, and Agilis mail ballot processing machine. All systems were found to be 100% accurate in the tabulation of votes and processing of mail ballots. The tests were performed before the start of early voting, the day before Election Day, and a post-election test the day after the election. There were no tabulation errors in the 917 precincts. Therefore, as the duly appointed Registrar of Voters of Clark County, Nevada, I do hereby certify to the Clark County Board of Commissioners that the results of the canvass of this election are deemed certifiable. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any comments from members of the board? Now we'll entertain a motion. All right, we have a move for approval by Commissioner Naft. Please cast your votes.
Jones, aye.
Motion is adopted. All right, for those of you, so we will have another period for public comment. If you would like to come forward, we ask that you stop speaking and shouting from the audience, and we ask that you utilize the mic to maintain decorum of the building. And we are now in our second period of public comment. Is there anyone at this point who would like to come forward for public comment?
Pam Bennett, Bennetts. You're all going to prison. Trump, I handed you the document. I tried to save your souls, but you didn't even want to save your souls because the cartel owns all of you, and we know. We know all of this. It is so ridiculous. You don't even listen to anybody here. I don't even know why you have this stupid circus show. You probably voted yesterday. I have all the data. We've been working on this for so long, and you guys don't even care. It is absolute insanity. It's going straight to Trump. I don't even know how you guys sleep at night. How? You don't even listen to us. I didn't even get to speak. I didn't even get to tell you the rest of the fraud. You don't care. And then all these government people saying the election is great. Yeah, they're getting paid to say that. Give me a freaking break. Congratulations, Clark County. You look like morons again.
Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
This is Sam Rabinowitz. I'm a resident of Henderson, and this is an outrage. This is my first time ever at a county meeting, at any political meeting. All I know is I've always served my patients and humankind, and this is wrong. If you take a look at this chart here, I would point out to you let's see, actually, this one, that this is a possibility. Nancy Raker was up by 3% at 2 o'clock in the morning. By 5 o'clock in the morning, ballots started coming in, and her opponent received 3.1% of the towards his favor, then another batch 14%, another batch of 25%, and then it just flipped, and just enough votes to maintain his lead over her. This is an absurdity. It's an impossibility. Statistically, it's impossible. If I read an EKG like that and just ignored what I saw in the EKG, I would lose my license. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Mr. Yulee?
Yes, my name is my name is Ed Euling. Well, we've seen an excellent demonstration of why Nevada and Clark County are the laughingstock of the country, if not the world, in conducting elections. You don't know the results of the election until many days afterwards. You have evidence and you refuse to look at it. The registrar colluded with the Secretary of State, in my case, to delay an appeal that I made against the counting of the signatures that I had to gather until after it was possible to have any hearing in the court. By that time, I submitted the appeal on July 2nd, and it was never heard, never considered. And I submitted sufficient signatures.
Thank you so much.
Boyce Perkins, the Nevada Supreme Court extended the acceptance of mail-in votes for 3 additional days after November 5th. That would have been Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Friday would be the last day. You need to look into where 28,000 plus votes disappeared to late Thursday night before the deadline on Friday. Where did those votes go? They were already tabulated at 435,000 mail-in votes on Thursday, but then it was subtracted and showed up 28,000 plus votes lower on Friday. Where did those votes go for Sam Brown? You also look at the graph, and you'll see you can only go up or sideways with an election. If you look at a graph, it doesn't matter which one I'm representing with my hands. If you'll give me just a few more seconds. It doesn't matter which candidate I'm representing with my hands, because it happened for both Jackie Rosen and Sam Brown. You go up, and then you see them move sideways. They go up like they're attached at the hip. How come one of them didn't go across sideways?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Because it was always monitored.
All right. We have another speaker.
Thank you for the opportunity to follow up with my early statement. The last thing I would like to bring up
Can you please state your name for the record?
Terry Joseph Wolf. The last thing that I'd like to bring up, on day 4 of my poll watching, I observed one machine that was supposed to be zeroed out, and it ran off a pretty good sized number before we started. I observed 4 machines that were marked as inoperable, but yet within the first half hour, there were people voting on those machines. I also have observed the paper count ballot tabulators being taken out during the process and replaced with others. That, to me, is very alarming. I think that it needs to be looked into. And I also want to say to all of you, I appreciate your efforts. I know you're in a very difficult position here, but do not waste your vote on fraud. Make the right decision today. Thank you.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, Jeff Waffle, W-A-U-F-L-E. I just want to let you know that I have not submitted a formal document. I will continue to do the analysis of the data and let you know I did find 73 voters that voted twice. Pass that on. I believe it is being reviewed. I would ask you to end mail-in balloting or mail-in votes at the same day as early elections, so they all come in within 3 days of election day. Would be a sane adoption and maybe clear up some of this. But going on and still having ballots dropped as of yesterday gives us absolutely no time to analyze the data and ensure that it's correct. I'm not really caring about the party. I don't suspect anyone in this room has the ability to change the data. I think it's higher than you.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can just find what's going on, I'm going to try to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Susan Proffitt, Proffitt. I'm getting tired because I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been watching these elections for 6 years, and I have not seen an honest election in Clark County in 6 years, and I don't like telling you that. I can count 10 different ways right now that they're stealing our election. They're stealing my vote. I just want my vote, and I'd like the right to be left alone to observe without being harassed. We passed a law that I was threatened with that's now making it a federal offense to harass the election workers. But what about us? The HEPA law was broken. He asked, what is your dog trained to do for you? And do you have a disability that warrants you having that dog? I felt pressured to tell him my medical history. This is against the law. Are you going to hold him accountable? His employee literally flicked a pin in my dog's face, trying to get her to react, and so did Dan Coolin. He put his hand to her nose and said, she's not supposed to do that. I said, that's what she's trained to do.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
My name is Socorro Keenan, last name Keenan. I want the world to know that in front of me is Ross Miller, Commissioner Michael Knapp, Commissioner William McCurdy, Vice Chair. McCurdy. Tig Seawerbloom is gone. Jim Gibson, Marilyn Kirkpatrick, Justin Jones was gone, and Lynn Goya were not here. And I'm asking for the paper that I asked for you, all of you, to sign that you did receive, and you will receive. I don't know who has it. And this is from Lisa Logston. Is that your name? I'm sorry.
Proceed with your
I was
comments.
told that she has the paperwork for them for her to sign that you received, and I'll tell you what you received: a call for federal intervention, because we knew this was going to happen, a request for invitation to Senate and congressional hearings for presentment of facts and evidence. Thank you, gentlemen, and I wish you the best because you had a chance. You are operating under the color of law. We don't have law since 1951.
Hello, my name is Paul Page. I was an observer at 965 Trade Drive for about 4 days before the election, and a couple of points. One is, contrary to what the registrar is saying, the Agilis machines, for example, didn't work flawlessly. And they have 2 of them, and one of them routinely mangled the ballots that came through. And then they reran those ballots. I don't know if that's good or bad, right or wrong, but those are like facts that they're not talking about. The other interesting thing I observed on one of the days was in the intake room where they're counting the ballots that they get on the green trays. I was counting with one of the workers, across the window, and my count was different than what he was writing down on the forms they had to show how many ballots were actually in that green tray, maybe by as much as 10%. And that's the kind of error that you can't keep making routinely after watching someone for an hour. So I would really look into the process.
Thank you.
CYRUSHOJJATY.
a little off topic if it's okay. I want to talk about F1. This race setup has been such a pain in the you-know-what, the congestion, the lane narrowing, roads and streets being blocked, safety hazards. I can't even make a right turn into Flamingo heading south on the Strip. I mean, what is this? I have to often take longer routes to go from one place to another because there's just so much congestion in front of the Bellagio Hotel. I mean, what is this? Is this a reality show? It's unbelievable. I'm honestly asking you for next year, please do something different because it is just hostile. For 4 months, you're setting this son of a gun up. And what do the tourists think? What do people around the world think when they see this clown show? Okay, I'm not against racing, but do things differently. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Nancy Recker, R-O-E-C-K-E-R. I'm showing you my phone where I am going to pull up my voter registration. You are going to see that my vote has not been counted. You've certified this election, and there are a number of us in my district who have set the same evidence, and there will be a holding of accountability for this. So I'm going to show you. I'm showing you my birth date because I'm so mad that my vote hasn't been counted.
Excuse me, we don't want to see we don't want to see all your personal information there. There you go. It's your it's your social.
Let me just get into it. I didn't know it was going to unmask it. Open it up again. Turn it on, please. It's just my voter registration. Ballot received, not counted, turned in on 10/19. Registered originally as received on 10/21 and not counted. How could you possibly certify this election? There will be follow-up actions, trust me.
Andy Thompson, I want you to hear some words that you don't believe in and some words that you have thrown in the trash this day. Let us all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Why can't you stand? Why cannot you stand? You have proven a disrespect. You have given proof of your disrespect for our Constitution, for our republic, for our vote, for our voice. I spoke before you last year 3 different times, and this commission proved, and I can see the look on your face, Mr. Gibson. You despise us, and God will hold you accountable.
Commissioners, again, Robert Rupert, Commission District A. The 8 pages I submitted, which showed the texted contact to those ballots that were submitted by voters that were either cured, which are only 2 out of the 8 pages, and approximately half of them failed. I still have on my cell phone all the failed phone numbers that I sent out as a legitimate text. I'd like you to see that because my phone is still blocked. I cannot text on my phone. I couldn't text either of you. And I'd like you to please have that information looked into by whoever does the curing follow-up to make sure that these citizens that didn't get a chance to get their ballot cured to be notified that there may have to be some other opportunity to do so to get their registrations validated. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you so much. Seeing that there's no more public comment, this meeting is adjourned.